my interest. And now here we are getting ready for YeahBuddy Academy on attack and Social Experiment on defense. I do think that's a very interesting matchup. YeahBuddy Academy rocking kind of, yeah, warbands that very much look like YeahBuddy warbands would also look, minus the special units. Also a lot of Wuxing pikes. That's definitely a YeahBuddy influence. They spammed them a lot in the last tournaments. Also a lot of green Kevs. Couturiers are still kind of out of hand with the very, very strong rune they currently get this season. Also, obviously, Rattan pikes a lot on both sides. The pick I do really want to highlight here is for Social Experiment, the one set of Hwang. I do think that's a very, very smart pick. Because even after the long range nerfs, they are still kind of great to snipe off with arrow rain range units, while still maintaining a very solid DPS potential. I mean, they're a heavy gold investment, but they do way more damage to blobs than, for example, longbows or imp archers, while having this long range anti-range unit capabilities. So let's see if this is working like we think. These Hwang most likely will stand in the spawn at the end cap, I think. Like over here in the spawn. I think that is a very common place for long range units that can harass the opponent from the side and maybe also deny opponents when they are attacking from long range poking. But for now we are stuck with the very, very boring tower pushing phase. One of the bigger questions here is, are defenders capable of destroying this left bottom tower here to delay the attack? Because a lot of teams rely on this tower for their pushing strats. A lot of teams are going still for this like left-sided push here as a 10-5 split very often, trying to force the opponent here in this corner, where they're also capable of trapping when they're pulling reinforcements, while having a mostly like one-sided fight themselves, depending on how everything works. But they do need this bottom tower for it, for creating, for them a two-sided attack in the like lesser trappable area, and forcing opponents either back when they want to fight one front versus one front. They also get a lot of like very safe space here for special units. So this tower is indeed very interesting, and that's also one of the reasons why a lot of teams try to deny at least one tower on this position. In general, it is very hard to do so because you only get the standard artillery and the damage your heroes like muskets and longbows can provide. Enk, thanks a lot, buddy, for the follow. I do really appreciate it. And these towers are hard to take down because you got no artillery on the players, because that's in the tournament rules. No additional blue artillery, like we, for example, saw in CBL the last time. And yeah, also the units that are very capable of doing so, like the most capable cannons are banned. And for example, units like green Jeffs are not that highly rated, and are definitely also not a good anti-unit unit. So I do think they're not good to bring as a compromise for just delaying one tower. And we see the first action here on the ground. Big blob of YeahBuddy Academy going and taking the ground. That means at least they're taking both supplies. So they're ensuring, at least for now, there will be no second fight on the wall. Most likely, because even if the fight is going like 50-50, there is no way for Social Experiment to really take a supply and get new units until YeahBuddy Academy is respawned. But now we see the Hwang already out. Okay. Very interesting. I did not expect them to be on the A point, because I do think for the A point the additional range is not that necessary, but they might come in very handy here to deny the poke on the bottom and on the other side. And here you see why these Hwang are so potent, because they are more tanky than other ranged units. They can dodge a lot of damage with their roll and jump, and then they do heavy damage. And they're denying at least one side of the double-sided poke very effectively here. And as I said, they are not that much of a DPS loss. They also have a very solid amount of ammunition, because they have a refill mechanic during their skills. So very, very interesting use of the Hwang here. But that means most likely they are going to lose these Hwang, and they will not have them for the flank to deny poke on the end cap. Also, welcome Amir in the chat, welcome. As always, guys, root for your favorite teams, wish them luck. Some of them watch the VODs and they will see the chat. Yeah, and they will definitely appreciate your support. Defenders going here for a very even 2 split by trying to keep use of the Hwang. They keep rotating left and right, trying to find angles on the range without getting killed, trapped and sniped. Now the rotation that can be trapped, at least for some part. But YeahBuddy Academy is not that aware. And now we have to wait for the trap and where the engagement will happen. These two sheet mains here are a little bit out of position, I would say. They might get caught here. And YeahBuddy Academy taking a lot of space here on the top. I think that is according to the plan of Social Experiment. They want them here in the sandwich, but also good reaction here by YeahBuddy Academy with the trap onto this choke where they are perfectly holding them. This trap that definitely cost a lot of units. But still, Social Experiment is making their way through, but might eat another trap. The left side is already beaten by YeahBuddy Academy, and they are going now into wiping the other side. Hwang are also getting dove here, amazing. But it looks like, yeah, as I predicted, no, the supply is also getting taken back. YeahBuddy Academy is also taking the supply here. Well, still keeping the supply and taking the A point slowly but surely, and no reinforcements are about to come here. Now the only question is, will Social Experiment start holding somewhere more to this front supply in the front here, or are they going for the very classical end cap hold? Or something in between with this crossroad here that gets maybe supported from some blue range out of the safe zone. I think that is the 3 options we face right here. YeahBuddy Academy, very aggressive hero use here in the front, ensuring that the supply stays theirs and that they will at least not face a very front defense. I think that's a good call here from Social Experiment. Also, moin to Chris, welcome, welcome. Okay, Warband wise, we see the blue range dominating. Crossbows, at least one of my favorite range units are the crossbows. Not only because they do great damage into blobs, even shielded blobs, but their anti-cav capabilities are insane. Even if I do think the range units should not be that good against cav, they are actually one of the more reliable ways of denying flanking cavs, if they are managed correctly and the timing is good. And they bring like extreme value for the price. But same is true for Rattan Vipers. If they are shooting with these high angles onto points, harassing the defenders off the point. And we see the arrows fly here. Solid rotation trap, but might only cause a little bit of damage to the blue shield. Oh, these backside Phalanx, they stopped even the trap area, but Luckily, they did not get caught. One attacker Kev here in the backside that will get answered by the Phalanx. I do hope this Kev player... Oh, the Phalanx is running away! Oh, it was maybe just a bait. I hope that was an intentional bait, but well played to the Phalanx player. Ember Scott did a great job here, and the Kev did a bad job from the one side, going in too early and not rotating back. Very common mistake. Then someone sticks to the plans as a slave, not reworking the plan if it's not doable. And now the defense for Story Enjoyers, social experiment, I'm very sorry, is looking kinda solid. But not multiple Kevs now coming in from the front side here. Good double unit pull by YeahBuddy Academy. Not overcommitting their heroes, which is a smart call, because they do not provide too much value in these team fights. But it's still not enough. Very solid defense here by Social Experience. Unit count looks slightly better for YeahBuddy Academy. The big amount of green and blue units is paying off here. And they do still have enough time, 7.5 minutes, that they can attempt another try. Good call for a reset. Dual Blade is hopefully making it out, not overextending. Chapel should be experienced enough. Long YeahBuddy, long Rough Justice player. Sorry guys. Long Rough Justice player. He should have the experience to not die unnecessarily before a push. But also he's an old school aggressive hero player and he wants to get value with his Dual Blade. Maybe force a 1-on-1. Gain a little bit of respawn advantage by killing someone. So I do really appreciate that. Oh, this musket is living a dangerous life. So, dear teams, if you see this and you want to improve and do better, love your muskets and give them space. Because if they're dancing alone in the front and trying to throw bombs, they might get picked off and die, and that's actually not what you want. As a heavy player, just stay around them, be ready to attack, counter-attack whoever is attacking them, to create this space for these musket guys to work, because they can secure you guys insane advantages by killing specials before fights, by harassing units, like core units, maybe Phalanx, etc. Yeah, also, I'm mentioning that the YeahBuddy Academy fight actually looked pretty clean. That's true. Besides the one Kev that was too early and did not, like, or just executed the plan that was pre-planned. Most likely, that's how it looked. Everything looked very solid. Good combination of the infantry here working. But still, Social Experiment looking very compact here. Not really allowing people behind their Phalanx, for example. And this Phalanx are protecting them against the Kev. And huge Kev here into their back. YeahBuddy Academy definitely got a very hurtful charge in the back. That's the danger of like consistently like 1-1v comboing on Phalanx, because they are not turning. So when they are turned to the front, they will not turn to the back to answer the Kev charge. But now it looks like YeahBuddy Academy won the fight good enough, and their reinforcements keep coming in. The deep 4-unit warbands are definitely paying off. And also thanks a lot Luxa and Amir for the follows. Thanks a lot. And we see them on the end cap walking through, just getting very slightly stopped by singular heroes that get taken down bit by bit. These Phalanx could use their V mode and walk to hunt heroes. A little micro improvement, and you just brace them in the front when you see the Kev coming. But other than that, yeah, very solid communication. It looks like multiple people trying to focus down people bit after bit here. And this is the slow death by Social Experiment, coming in one by one into the meat grinder. And that is something that can work, but not with 4 minutes on the clock. That's a thing that only works arguably in the last minute. Even if the heroes are doing a great job being heroes and trying to survive, this will not convincingly kill a lot of YeahBuddy Academy units. Also, YeahBuddy Academy is still having more units left, so even if they call in here for a quick reset, it would not matter too much, but that's not needed. Very, very solid first win here for YeahBuddy Academy. Mother Goat here with the big numbers. Also very, very crazy scoreboard here, not gonna lie. When a lot of Unity players are on the very bottom, actually do not know how they manage to. Did they know team damage? I guess they didn't tank a lot. I have not enough attention to these guys' warbands to create a perfect clear. Maybe you guys can let me know what reasons why people with actually very solid amount of kills have on the scoreboard. So, or did I miss a change in the patch? Because we also see the same on the other side. I mean, it might just be this song, right? Because we have A pluses over S. It might just messed up a little. Okay, we still found the MVPs. I think they look solid enough. Also, Shima with a very solid performance here. 152 kills, taking the MVP. And we go a very, very break, guys, and get into the second game where YeahBuddy shows us hopefully how they defend this map and with something very spicy. It's not linked under my Twitch channel because I did not really use it so far. I just started for this tournament to use my YouTube channel more for public videos. Before there was only a lot of scrim videos up, and for every YouTube enjoyer there is definitely your chance. You can see all the games I casted on YouTube, and now we filled enough space to go over for the very meat of the evening here. The unit comps remained the same, most likely. Maybe interesting highlight is here. I mean, we didn't talk about it so far. The Wu Ways on Lily QT. I do think that's due to the fact that they're still great at killing heroes, especially when a chain dart is pinning them down. Which is a very common combo to put like these type of damage and bait units on people that are like playing chain dart to secure either backlines or go for supply points in a one-on-one, because like UAs are still pretty solid in most one-on-one situations against a lot of units, and they're especially very good against damage units that just make it through onto the supply. They're a great cleanup unit that can quickly burst down unit and hero. Yeah, that was at least one little detail, and we try to keep everything at least informative, so we are also speaking about the game, like the gameplay, on a detailed level from time to time when we have to fill a little bit space, so we all learn and improve. Also, if you guys notice something, for example, like Amir did, always put it in the chat. I'm very, very interested in seeing your guys' opinion on the presented gameplay. For example, if you notice a very interesting detail, I'm actually very interested in learning more about the game or learning other people's perspective on the game. Also, in this particular game, we did not really speak about the hero composition, because I think they are pretty equal. A lot of poleaxe, some spear and shield, some musket, a little bit a longsword. So nothing too special here. A very few dual blades and chain darts. I think that is pretty standard by now. I think also a lot of even like mid-tier teams managed to draft better and better hero comps. I think that's a huge improvement in the tournament scene compared to the past, where teams kind of had to like use whatever they have. You know, like if they only had a friend group that plays massively Maul, they just played 15 Mauls because they had 15 malls. And I feel today like a lot of teams can be more mindful about who they recruit. Also, a lot of people learned maybe more classes to diversify the hero classes a little bit to get advantage from having these longsword buffs, from having these glaive buffs, to use certain utility. So yeah, I do think that is a very, very good direction. How like teams in general improved, even on the medium end. We are casting here the middle division. It's also one question I would love to have in the chat answered. What do you guys think? What is the most used hero class for competitive? Like not the most, like the least fun, like just the least useful one. I would definitely like to hear some opinions on it. I have a very clear answer, at least from my perspective. And I think we have a lot of time to speak about it because A is getting dropped for free. YeahBuddy Academy going for something that looks like a more front supply heavy hold with a two-sided counter push. I think they will go for here because they are staying away from the walls, and most likely then they will play from here and here into the middle when the opponent is pushing forward. That's at least how it looks for now. Yeah, having all the range units stacked up here for a crazy poke. That is actually very, very smart and thought through setup. Stacking up the range here, dealing massive damage when they're coming here or here down from the stairs. And when they try to push the range, they are going to get attacked from the flank. Very interesting setup. But the long range Hwang from the top are doing great work here. Sun Cow, brother. no rune fire, you hope? Yeah. Oh, I just saw it now in the chat. welcome to the stream. Yeah, you were unluckily a victim of this rule. Yeah, but rules are rules. And it's sad to see you leave the tournament like this. But I hope you are back for the next tournament. And you said also it was for being dumped. Yeah, I mean, it's a dump mistake. That's one of the reasons I never swap to Fire Rune on my medium set, since I mostly play medium in Rough Justice games currently. Yeah, with Glaive and Musket. So that cannot happen to me because I would 100% forget this shit. Even if Bara says it every game, because we also don't want to lose players to this. Okay, we see a Y8 rotation of the Hwang. I think he wanted to refill them, but we used the wrong supply. Now they might get jumped because they are so behind. Ah, good reaction here. Very good reaction. Negating space for the opponent musket, which is very, very important. This is something I also like high level teams often struggle with, executing that super well. Because giving these muskets space or denying these muskets the space is super crucial when you play with range and specials. Because these guys should not be capable of going here and killing special units. I mean, Hwang don't die as easily. But for example, if you have Rattan Vipers, one little firebomb is enough to wipe a third of your unit. When they are walking stacked, it might be more. And we see a bottom push so far. Very, very interesting. Okay, a lot of damage here out of the gate by the Hwang. And they find their targets and pick off some of the opponent archers. But you definitely really feel the damage reduction for the arrow rain on Hwang. The damage when they came out was absolutely unreal over long range. there, they would have definitely wiped both of the archers here within seconds. But for now, both teams try to make work of these archers. Okay, Zykalian is getting targeted by the Hwang. I think they're shooting into the wall a little bit, yeah. Positioning not really optimal, and they also got a firebomb on them. Zykalian is also not really losing archers. These Hwang do not seem to do huge damage to the range units. I'm very, very curious. Okay, they also got heavily decimated so far. But that means YeahBuddy range units have a lot more free space to work with. And now the fight is breaking out. Social Experiment here, going for a two-sided push into the YeahBuddy setup. The split is quite even. And now Mother Goat is looking for the Hussars here. It is unfortunately lagging, but the Hussars, they went deep and they wiped very, very hard here into the blob. And YeahBuddy is holding this front side, but also the double units come in hard, and the little shield hold got absolutely kept down. Unfortunate. The supply block, I think, was not fast enough here. So Kev still got pulled. And I think now it's time for a good reset on YeahBuddy Academy towards the end cap. Because the end cap is going to get pressured. They at least now need someone who is going to block it. One Rolex going there. Maybe getting... even dismounting here to stop the Kev, I guess. I don't know if that was the right call when the cap point is getting kept more and more. Seconds in the end can count. I think the end cap problem is a little bit diffused. But now it is definitely time to go and get a setup on this end cap. Because ideally you will want to fight more here in the front for your first fight on the end cap. Because they have more than one fight left in their pocket when it comes to unit count. So they want to take the fight here, so they have a chance to reinforce here on the end cap with a second set of units.
Yes, Commander.
Also very, very good delay here on the front supply to also deny the attackers a good fast reset with full fresh units. Sorry guys, I also need to mute my Discord. I'm very sorry. I always forget to put the streamer mode immediately. Okay, and the reset is done. And Social Experiment is coming in hot for the very classical front push here. And we see YeahBuddy Academy harassing from the safe zone with blue archers, like fire archers. In general, fire archers have the problem of being out of ammunition very fast. I think they only have like 3 salvos in the tank. But with a very close supply, they can definitely do a lot of work here to harass. And I do think it's then the Vipers here on the point, because they have a lot more ammunition to work with, and they can massively abuse the high angle over this building here to even hit into like at least these units here on this line. They are definitely hitting. And it looks like they know that they are losing the poke battle. So they have to move in fast and take the fight. Now some of the archer players are not swapping into Kevs. Okay. They stay on the range. They do think that the range DPS is good enough. And definitely range hitting from the safe zone into the fight is doing some very significant damage. Fight is also lagging quite hard. All these fire effects are definitely breaking the game's performance a little bit. But YeahBuddy Academy is holding tight and strong. Same as Social Experiment did, being a very, very tight blob here and farming off the attackers very, very well. I would even argue even more clean than Social Experiment in their defense. The loser trap quite after. I don't see this thing happening. Maybe even rotating Phalanx. Unfortunate. Unfortunate for attacker, and now YeahBuddy Academy taking a more forward position here. They do a bit fighting, but going down. Also very, very, very bad for the timing, especially if the Dubit has no Kev to reinforce. It will delay their push even further, and they are not with massive amounts of time on the clock. I think they do have like 1.5 push setups left for the attacker. So being down one player for a little bit longer is not the greatest thing. And these nuances can make a difference. That is, I think, is a thing to all the dual players. You are amazing in 1v1s, and I know you thrive for these. But don't mess up your death timings and your resets. Especially if you have no like other way of impacting the map with these other timings that benefits your team overall more. Because if you're not able to join the main fights, you might be very useless. So yeah, take care, don't die too late. Sometimes, even if you can, maybe accept your death and die earlier to be on the same page as your team. And Social Experiment here going in absolutely deep and hot. But they are slow and spread out here in the back. And a lot of uncovered, non-shielded units that eat the damage from the safe zone. That's also very dirty, because the safe zone here, like the circle, is protecting you even from damage. So taking this middle road makes this range units even worse to deal with. And they now make it to the corner here of the end cap. They get off a trap that might hit a little bit, but YeahBuddy Academy doing a great job. Like doing the fundamentals I was talking about, I think in the last casting session, learning the trap impact spots, learn how many traps can hit where, and then choose your fights wisely. And there you definitely see that YeahBuddy Academy has a lot of experienced players and also experienced influence, because they definitely get help from Dunkel making strats, helping them with choosing better areas to fight and highlighting some crucial mechanics for some spots. And YeahBuddy Academy definitely dominantly slaughtering this push. They didn't start good on the main road, getting picked apart by range and Cav, and ended in this very, very compact YeahBuddy Academy blob on the corner of the end cap where they could not be trapped. Very well played, executing the fundamentals here very, very well. And now Chapel on the chase. You might catch the dual blade, but a good bait for the Cav. Couteliers did not really get a lot of speed. I think that was a micromanagement mistake. These Couteliers could have charged from here and get a way better charge off. That could have been a very interesting trap to get at least some stats up. But yeah, the unit trade is overwhelming YeahBuddy Academy. Looks like they have won this game early, and they will just now spawn farm a little bit until the opponents are gone and finally eradicated. Let's try and find some nice hero action. Angel fighting his best against a bunch of players coming from all sides. He's dashing out, but even the very broken spear and shield dashes can't save him forever. Really cutie, execute him with a scorpion snare. And YeahBuddy marching forward into the spawn. Because if you get clapped in your spawn, you deserve it. And YeahBuddy Academy is definitely bringing out the deserved punishment with ease and I think some enjoyment. I know some of these players and I'm pretty sure they enjoy handing out this punishment here in the spawn. Also the trap here does not really hit something. And the massacre here goes on and on and on. Yeah, and that is a very solid 2-0 by YeahBuddy Academy. I do think the attack, they struggled a little bit more. That might say the map in this bracket is a little bit more defender sided. But yeah, their defense looked very clean, very well thought through. And they definitely showed they were trading cleaner and better. YeahBuddy Academy MVP Zykalian. Yeah, very good unit and management, getting a lot of these kills. I think he also got a lot of these kills with his range. I think he was one of designated art players. But I did not perfectly pay attention if that was his main damage counter unit. If Zykalian, he can let me know. Hero damage, not that high. And that's the sad part, at least for me. Like, it's not that necessary, unfortunately. Good hero gameplay gets less and less important in how the game played currently. So please, dear devs, make heroes great again. Also, Chapel, my former teammate, at least over 100,000 damage against heroes, 400,000 into units, spamming some shurikens most likely, 7-1, 179, nearly bottom fragging. These scoreboards currently are absolutely wild. I do like to talk Chapel for being a bottom fragger. Even if it doesn't really matter in competitive. The only thing that matters is that your team wins. On the other side, Oopsie and Ouchie, the dual blade, taking the MVP spot here. Half of Chapel's against heroes, slightly less against units. Very interesting and crazy scoreboards partially. I don't know what screwed them over, so we do take them too serious. Every player individually. Maybe also a sign from above that we should not rate scoreboards too much in competitive, because in the end, even the guy who's not getting kills but covering the back, the one glorious and important calf, is doing a great and important job. So yeah, let's appreciate all of them and go into a very short break and get ready for the next game.